Eliza Miller, and I'm an 8th grader at Madison Middle School. No one deserves to be bullied, whether it's over the internet or in person. This is why Madison Middle proposed to make the purple and yellow ribbon represent anti-bullying. Purple represents domestic violence, and yellow represents those who commit suicide from being bullied. Madison Middle staff and its students are working together to take a stand against bullying. Everyone should feel like this school is a safe place, and no one should be afraid. Just like when all the students spelled "Stop Bullying" on the front lawn, it takes each and every one of us to put this into action. School is a place to learn and make new friends, not to be afraid. Madison Middle asked State Representative Rita Smart to help us take this even farther. Representative Smart went to Frankfurt to propose a bill to make October officially Anti-Bullying Month in Kentucky and make the purple and yellow ribbon a representation of this. So please give a big round of applause for State Representative Rita Smart.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say this is my first official press conference, and you and I are famous. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent the 81st District in the House of Representatives in Frankfurt. And on behalf of the State House, I would like to bring greetings and offer an invitation to the students and their teachers to visit me during the month of February when we have our session begins. We'll go back into session on February the 7th, and there are many of you who could come and visit me and see what we do for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So come and see me since I've come to see you today. I'd like to thank the media for coming out this morning to bring attention to this timely and important topic regarding our Commonwealth and the nation. And foremost, I'd like to give a big thank you to you, the students and the staff of Madison Middle, for being proactive about the tough issue of bullying that so many of our young people face today. We know that statistics show that more bullying occurs during the middle school years than any other time in your students' schooling. And I really commend you young people for standing up for your friends and your peers and for reaching out beyond your school to impact our entire state. And I'm especially glad that your assistant principal, Scott Anderson, contacted me about bully prevention efforts that you're doing here at Madison Middle. And I'm very, very honored to sponsor this legislation, House Bill 35, that, as they said before, would officially designate October as Bullying Prevention Month here in Kentucky, as it is already recognized nationally. And then it would designate our purple and yellow ribbons as the official color of our awareness campaign. And the purple represents the victims of domestic violence, and the yellow represents the victims of suicide, which sometimes occurs as a result of bullying. Last year, I was proud to come back to Richmond and Madison County and bring funds to reopen our spouse abuse center for the many children and families that were affected by domestic violence. So it seemed only proper and fitting that I would continue these efforts by the request that you had made for this bill. Now, as educators and people that are trying to learn, you know your teachers give you coursework and they give you assignments and research. And when I did a little research on the efforts for your bill, I found that the Kaiser Foundation, Family Foundation, had done a study, and 74% of 8 to 11-year-olds said teasing and bullying occurred at their school. and this rate increased to 86% among children 12 to 15 years old. I also found that the National Institute of Health reports that nearly half of all students in the county fear harassment or bullying in the bathroom at their school. According to a recent national report on crime and school safety, more than 30% of the students between the age of 12 and 18 say they were bullied or cyberbullied during the school year. So if we look, there are many other statistics, boys and girls, that we could look at, but we know that bullying significantly impacts your lives, your parents' lives, your teachers' lives, everybody's lives. Whether you are a bully, a target of bullying, or even just a witness. I could go on and on with other statistics, but the main thing that we want to focus on is that all children feel safe at school, free from any type of violence, abuse, harassment, or bullying. And it's a goal that's shared by our community as a whole and as our state. So what you've done to start the notion or make the awareness can really make an impact. As I thought about this morning driving over to your school, I thought, you know, we're going to be on TV and nationally people will see what we've talked about, but we have to continue this effort, and the bill is not passed yet. So we've still got some work to be done. Now you learned about what it takes to get a bill started by just saying there ought to be a law. And so you asked me to start the process for a law. And I've done that. I filed the bill and it's ready to go. Now we have to start lobbying. And that's your next assignment. You started today by making people aware. We're wearing ribbons. Now, I have 100 or 99 other House members that I have to work with to get this bill passed. So what I encourage you to do to help me in this lobbying effort is to prepare ribbons that I can take to Frankfurt and present to every other legislator that they will wear under their official legislative pen. This will make them aware, and this will make other people aware. The other assignment I'm going to give you in lobbying is to contact all of your friends and relatives that live in other counties in Kentucky and tell them of the efforts that you started here. Tell them about the bill, tell them about the ribbon, tell them why you're doing it, and then ask them to contact their state representative and support this House bill. Then we must continue in our county. Now, what I see most important that you can do in relating to bullying, 6th graders, you're going to be in Madison Middle for 2 more years. You will become the leaders. And so for the next 2 years that you're here, and this year also, it's your responsibility to take the leadership and train the students that are coming to Madison Middle about the efforts. Make sure that bullying does not happen, that you report it, that you stand up for each other, so that tradition is carried on. And then you explain to them when the next group comes to Madison Middle, they do the same thing. The 8th graders in the back, you're going to be going to Madison Central. And so it's your job when you get there to carry on what was started here at Madison Middle. You stand up, you say, we fought, we started. Our class started this effort and we want it to continue. So if we go in that route, Evidence shows us that bullying is a learned behavior, and that means that people see it and they're taught. So we have to change that learned behavior to a positive behavior, and that we will not tolerate it anymore. I have found that many times the people that are bullies really have leadership skills, and they tend to want to use that as a form of leadership, but it's a negative skill, and in the end it doesn't work. So if we can encourage people to take those leadership skills in a positive method, in a positive way, see how much more we can accomplish for our community and the Commonwealth. Our parents can support our children by encouraging them to respect classmates and watching out for any signs of bullying. As I spoke to some of the parents this morning, that's what they said to me. I tell my child, even if you're not being bullied, encourage, go and tell what you have seen or what you have heard. Our media that's here today can play an important role by giving attention to the dangers of bullying and how to address it. And then the lawmakers, such as myself and other policymakers, can continue to make sure that we have safe, bully-free schools, and that's one of our major priorities. Again, I am so proud to be at a great school this morning. And once again, I want to commend you students and the teachers at Madison Middle School for your work improving the community and our state. I look forward to advocating House Bill 35 and supporting bullying prevention efforts during and after the legislative session. So my door is always open. I reiterate to you again, you're welcome to come visit me in Frankfort. I have a website, it's ritasmart.com. You can contact me, and I'm in Richmond all the time. So if you see me on the street or you see me at a restaurant, introduce me to your parents, and let us talk to everybody that we come in contact with about this problem that's facing not only our community, our state, but our nation. And thank you again. I'll be happy to take questions, and if there's any student that has a question, you're welcome to raise your hand, and I will ask you to come to the podium so everyone can hear your question. Do we have anybody? All right, sir, come forward. Okay, would you state your name and your class, your grade?
My name is Sebastian Hodge, and I'm in 7th grade.
And your question?
I was wondering if you might also try to contact state senators to spread the idea.
I will do that. That's a part of, I was explaining to some of the teachers and parents as we were waiting, you know, the excitement and the noise, and some people might say that was chaos, but students were communicating with each other. When we go into the House floor each day, probably for the first 30 or 40 minutes, it sounds and it seems like a lot of chaos, a lot of noise going on, but in essence what we're doing is we are communicating with each other. We're talking about our bills, trying to seek support from other House members, and so I will do that every day. Thank you, sir. One more question.
As Representative Rita Smart told us, we have a lot of work left to do. But it's not impossible to make Madison Middle School and every school in this nation bully-free. We landed a man on the moon, and we can do a bully-free school as well. Thank you to everybody who came today to help us and take a stand against bullying with us. Let's give Representative Rita Smart another